Hello, and welcome to English Audio Lab. My name is Trevor.
And I'm Alicia. We're so happy you've joined us today.
Today, we have a very practical and useful topic. We are going to talk about explaining your daily routine.
That's right. We all have routines, and talking about them is a common part of everyday conversation. Our goal is to help you do it naturally and confidently.
Exactly. So relax, listen, and let's begin.
So, Trevor, to get started, I'm curious, are you a morning person?
I am, definitely. I love the quiet of the early morning. I usually get up around 6:30, even on weekends. The first thing I do is make a cup of coffee. I can't really function without it.
I understand that completely. So, what's next for you?
After I have my coffee, I typically spend about 20 minutes reading the news on my tablet. It helps me wake up. Then I'll have a simple breakfast, usually toast or some yogurt. After that, I get ready for work.
That sounds like a very calm and organized start to the day. My routine is a bit more chaotic, especially on weekdays. I tend to hit the snooze button a couple of times.
Many people can relate to that. The important thing is finding a routine that works for you. So, Alicia, you mentioned your mornings are a bit chaotic. Tell me more about that. Okay, that was a little look into my morning. In our chat, we use some great words and phrases for talking about routines. Let's break them down.
Yes, for example, Trevor, you said, I usually get up around 6:30. The word usually is very helpful. What does it mean?
Usually means it's something you do most of the time. It's your normal habit. You could also say normally or typically. For example, I normally have breakfast at home.
Okay, that makes sense. You also used a great phrase to start your description. You said, the first thing I do is.
Yes, that's a perfect way to begin. It clearly tells the listener what your very first action is. The first thing I do is make coffee. It's very clear and natural.
And for showing the order of activities, you used words like then and after that.
That's right. These are called sequencing words. They help connect your ideas together. I said, I have coffee. Then I'll have breakfast. After that, I get ready for work.
What about talking about things you don't always do? For example, I sometimes go for a run in the morning, but not every day.
Great question. For that, you can use words like sometimes or occasionally. You could say, sometimes I go for a run, or on weekends, I occasionally meet friends for brunch. This shows it's not part of your fixed daily routine. Now, let's listen to how these phrases are used in some short, realistic dialogue.
Okay, let's imagine two colleagues, Sarah and Mark, talking at work on a Monday morning. Morning, Mark. You look full of energy today.
Morning, Sarah. I had a good weekend. I always try to wake up early on Mondays to get a good start.
Really? What's your typical morning routine like?
Well, the first thing I do is go for a quick jog. After that, I take a shower and have a big breakfast. By the time I get to work, I feel awake and ready to go.
That sounds amazing. I usually just rush to get out the door.
Did you hear those key phrases? Mark said, what's your typical morning routine? And the first thing I do is,
Yes, let's do another one. This time, two friends are talking about their evening routines. Let's call them Maria and David.
I feel so tired at the end of the day. How do you usually unwind?
After I get home from work, I normally change into comfortable clothes right away. Then I spend some time cooking dinner while listening to a podcast. It helps me relax.
That's a good idea. I tend to just watch TV, but maybe cooking would be better.
You should try it. Before bed, I always read for about half an hour. It helps me fall asleep.
In that dialogue, Maria used normally and then to describe her routine. She also used always to talk about a habit she never misses. I always read before bed.
These are great examples of how natural these conversations can be.
All right, now it's time for you to practice. This is the most important part. We'll do some listening and speaking exercises together.
Don't worry, we'll guide you through it. Let's start with sentence repetition. Trevor will say a sentence, and you should repeat it out loud in the pause. We'll start very slowly.
Ready? Let's go. Sentence one. I usually start my day with a glass of water.
Great. Now let's say it at a natural conversational speed.
I usually start my day with a glass of water.
Excellent work. Let's do another one.
After breakfast, I check my email.
Okay, now at a natural speed.
After breakfast, I check my email.
You're doing great. One more. This is about the evening.
Before I go to sleep, I like to read a book.
And now naturally.
Before I go to sleep, I like to read a book. Fantastic. Now let's try a listening challenge. I'm going to describe a person's weekend routine. Listen carefully, and then Alicia will ask you a question about it. Here is the routine. On Saturdays, I don't set an alarm. I usually wake up around 9. The first thing I do is water my plants. After that, I make a big brunch. In the afternoon, I sometimes go hiking if the weather is nice. In the evening, I often watch a movie or play board games with my family.
Okay, did you get all that? Here is the question. What is the first thing this person does after waking up? The answer is the first thing they do is water their plants. How did you do? If you want to listen again, just rewind a little.
Now for the final practice step. This is your chance to speak. I will give you a prompt and I want you to try and answer it out loud. You can pause the audio if you need more time to think.
Ready? Here's the first prompt. Describe 3 things you do after you get home from work or school. Try to use the words first, then, and after that. Take your time and say it now.
Great job! Speaking is the best way to improve. Let's try one more.
Okay, next prompt. What is something you always do before you go to bed? And what is something you sometimes do? Try to start your sentences with I always and I sometimes. Speak your answer now.
Wonderful! It might feel strange to speak to yourself, but it is incredibly powerful practice.
We have covered so much today. Let's do a quick summary of the key learning points.
First, to talk about your habits, use words like usually, typically, normally, and always. For example, I usually drink coffee in the morning.
Second, to show the order of your activities, use sequencing words like first, then, next, and after that. It makes your story easy to follow.
And third, to talk about things that don't happen every day, you can use sometimes or occasionally. For example, I sometimes watch a movie in the evening.
Remember, the goal is not to be perfect. The goal is to communicate. Using these simple phrases will help you sound much more natural.
That brings us to the end of our lesson today at English Audio Lab.
We hope you feel more confident about describing your daily routine. You learned some very useful language and you did some excellent practice.
The key is to keep practicing. Try to describe your routine to a friend or even just to yourself using the phrases we learned today. Every little bit of practice helps.
Thank you so much for listening and for joining us. Keep up the great work, and we'll see you next time.
Goodbye for now.